Welcome to another episode of Fantasy News. I am your disheveled goblin host, Daniel Green, and let's just go ahead and jump into the very obvious attention-getting headline at the beginning here. We have an update regarding Winds of Winter. Notice, I very carefully did not say anything about release date or anything misleading in that headline. I know people get angry whenever I mention things that are like, oh, it's an update. All I'm promising is an update. What we have is from George R.R. Martin's blog. He says due to the current pandemic, he is in pretty much severe isolation, and as a result, he's spending, in his own words, more time in Westeros than the real world. Martin, Don't
what? Don't give me hope.
Now, the biggest takeaway from this is obviously that Martin's health is not the best, and he is at a severe risk of having this illness drastically affect him if he catches it. So please, out of respect for people like Martin, practice best sanitary standards right now and social distancing, please. Very happy to see that Martin is cranking through those pages. Usually once writers kind of get that momentum going, it's very hard to stop them, so I hope that's the case, and this is just an avalanche down the mountain to finishing Winds of Winter. Cool, Martin, and I wish you all the best and best of health. We also had the very sad update, and I'm particularly bummed about this, that jordancon has officially been canceled. I know a lot of you were really looking forward to meeting me there this year. Trust me, I wanted to grab a drink with you all at the hotel bar, but not this year. Next year, we'll definitely be there, and for sure by then, getting major show things involved with jordancon, I imagine, if not directly, then indirectly, just like announcements to be discussed, so that'll be fun. jordancon next year is gonna be a bop, as the kids say. Now let's go ahead and transition in some more standard fantasy news, because we had some special editions announced from author N.K. Jemisin. Subpress tweeted out, announcing the signed, limited, and lettered editions of N.K. Jemisin's How Long Till Black Future Month, featuring cover art and illustrations by Paul Lewin. Get your copy here. I would like to point out, these are most definitely a luxury purchase. With price tags of $150 for numbered and $750 for lettered, these are no cheap ticket. But if you're an N.K. Jemisin mega fan and want to have some gorgeous looking books, definitely go ahead and check these out. And did Brian McClellan just become one of my favorite people in fantasy right now? Yes, Brian McClellan just became one of my favorite people in fantasy right now news. He posted to Goodreads, "Hey all, there's a lot going on in the world right now with COVID-19 and the US presidential race creating an oversized shadow of uncertainty. I found myself glued to the internet all week, getting very little done, and it occurred to me that we could all take this time to step away from social media and the barrage of okay, there's a lot of words there, but basically, he has put up the Powder Mage trilogy for free on his website. He asks you only take advantage of this if you've been directly affected by the pandemic, but he knows people need a distraction, so you can go to his website and check out some e-copies of the Powder Mage trilogy, as well as his new urban fantasy Uncanny Collateral, which I enjoyed myself. So please do not take advantage of this if you do not need to. It's a very kind gesture from an author to those who maybe are severely isolated and really need a distraction, so if that's you, check him out. I highly recommend Powder Mage. It's a blast. Pun intended. We also got a first look into Andrzej Sapkowski, the Witcher author's newly translated historical fantasy series. From what I read here, it definitely reads like his style. He has quite the way with words, and this translation seems decent from this tiny snippet I can judge from, so check it out if you're a fan of the Witcher author, of course, in the links down below. As well as every other story is going to be linked down there. You know the drill, and hit like if you wouldn't mind. It helps me here quite a lot. And in incredibly exciting news from author Mark Lawrence, he has tweeted out that he has finished the last lines of the third book in the Book of Ice series. The first of this trilogy is due out at the end of April, The Girl in the Stars, and I can't wait to pick it up and get started. Mark Lawrence is one of my favorite authors currently working, and the trilogy this series is acting as a sequel to Book of the Ancestor is so good. So I'm very thrilled to hear this, Mark.
Fantastic.
And in rather sad news, actor you may know from Game of Thrones, Christopher Hivju, I hope I say that right, has said he is tested positive for the virus and is currently in isolation. Very sorry to hear that. I wish you all the best and a speedy recovery. And you know what? I'm going to put a timestamp right here. We're going to cover two more mildly COVID-related stories. If you want to skip them because you're tired of hearing about it, go ahead and skip to that time right now. In maybe long-term shifting entertainment news, quite a few studios have announced that instead of delaying or removing removing their films from theaters, what they're going to do is instead make them available for rent or on streaming services. We're seeing this all over the place. And a lot of people probably predicted that 5-10 years down the road, we would see studios start doing this for films they didn't expect to be a monumental in-game level event, maybe only putting their real hitters in theaters and having their smaller releases like The Invisible Man go out for just purchase and see how that performs. A long-term experiment that would take quite a bit of trial and error. But because of the pandemic going on, it seems that it's just having a happen now, see if the experiment pays off, and if it goes really well for these studios, maybe this will actually be a real fast evolution of the entertainment industry. I kind of am curious to see how this will do and wonder if we'll end up seeing something like New Mutants dropped in this fashion. I don't know. I have not heard anything in regards to that, but it's a curious idea. Could we even see a big superhero movie dropped in this fashion? Or no, it'll probably be more only like kids movies like Trolls 2, which is apparently having this happen, and horror movies like Invisible Man. Let me know your thoughts down below. Would you like to see the day and age of theater come to a more rapid close? Or no, you love the experience of getting together with your buddies, going to the theater, getting some popcorn and a slushie, and sitting down? Let me know. I'm actually interested to see what the overall consensus here will be, because honestly, I'm not that big of a theater guy. It takes quite the movie to make me go shell out all that cash. I usually prefer to wait for home rental or streaming. But speaking of movies that are being pulled due to what's going on, yes, Black Widow has been delayed for an indefinite amount of time as we're waiting to see when people can go back to theaters. No, the MCU is not going to risk all of this experimentation on one of their big, beautiful baby superhero movies. Don't know why I said it like that. Now, next up, this is a big old rumor. I want to make that absolutely clear. We got a rumor alert! Put some flashy stuff up, got some rumors. Rumor going on, it's a rumor. If you look online, you put in HBO Pokemon and Google even, you will see all kinds of articles speculating that HBO might be working on a live action Pokemon show. Okay, didn't see this coming, have no problem with it, but don't know who this is really for. Not because a Pokemon live action show wouldn't work, but HBO isn't exactly synonymous with kids' content, and that is what Pokemon would be served to, right? Don't get me wrong, adults like Pokemon too, including myself, but the largest portion of the Pokemon market is going to be the younger generation, so wouldn't this make more sense as like a Netflix, which has more like Netflix kids stuff, or even maybe a Disney Plus? Not that Disney owns Pokemon, but you get what I'm saying, like, why HBO? This is strange. Is this just a strategic move if it's going to happen? It's why I really doubt these rumors. It just doesn't seem like a property HBO would be really interested in, though I'm not saying it's not true, just that I have my about it. And to my Percy Jackson fans out there, we had this tweet from the author that I found quite interesting. He was asked, "What is your next book going to be, and any chance there will be a Netflix series of Percy Jackson?" To which Rick responded, "There is zero chance Percy will be on Netflix because Disney owns the rights
forever and ever
to Percy, and Disney and Netflix are competitors, so no. Next book, all I can tell you is there will be one." So absolutely zero chance, zilch, not a zit, that we will have Percy Jackson on Netflix. It's not happening. Could it be on Disney Plus? That seems like a possibility. And I do want to say to the people out there who are saying, "Oh, Disney Plus is bad, I don't like the shows yet, Disney Plus is going to be a terrible streaming service forever." Well, I don't think the Disney Plus shows maybe are as consistently good as some people claim them to be. Completely ruling out a streaming service within the first year of it being released, the first half a year of it being released, seems a bit silly to me. Give it time to evolve and mature. Disney is willing probably to shift what this streaming service exactly is. Content is a bit restrictive right now, but it's not even been out for a year. Yes, it has Disney behind it, but even massive corporations rolling out a big product they put a lot of time and resources into need time to evaluate how it's being received and what changes need to be made, because they don't have all the market research their competitors do who have been doing this for so long. I keep seeing these videos saying like Disney Plus is bad, it's not recovering, it's not getting better. It takes time, y'all. Chill. For as new as Disney Plus is, I think it's doing fairly well. It has issues, for sure, but it needs 3 years to improve. This is why we constantly see YouTube videos bashing new stuff, and then a couple years later, you'll see like the same YouTubers being like, "Oh, it did better. Who could have seen it coming?" For anything from a streaming service to a book series to whatever. Like, people are always shocked that, yes, Corporations, individuals, everyone improves with time. Oh my god! And we got this kind of interesting headline from IGN regarding the upcoming Mortal Kombat adaptation. Mortal Kombat movie aiming for grounded realism alongside crazy fatalities. And if you'd like to see more in depth what they're talking about here, link of course right down there. Basically they're interviewing someone, they're talking about the tone and the way they're approaching a character. It's kind of neat, but I'm not a huge Mortal Kombat fan, so I can't say much about this. And in actual Netflix news, it seems that Netflix's Shira is getting a 5th and final season, but then will be done. Another adaptation bites the dust. And in an update to the Shira story, in an interview with the showrunner, they said they knew exactly how many episodes they needed to tell the story when the show first started, so all storylines will be wrapped up with the end at the 5th season. So this doesn't seem like an untimely cancellation, rather a well thought out and strategic close, which is actually wonderful to hear for the She-Ra fans. Congratulations, guys. It seems like you are going to have a show that's drawn out to the point where it gets bad or cut off early and unsatisfying. You're hitting that golden sweet spot, so cool. And in the final piece of news I want to talk about here today, reportedly, Disney Plus is now subscribed to by over half of United States homes that have young children. So to the people, as I mentioned, who are heavily criticizing Disney Plus for all the reasons, which some of them are valid criticisms, but they're expected ones, new things are going to have problems. This is a sign that they're doing at least some stuff right, because their streaming service is hitting the market I'm pretty sure they intended it to. Yes, they have content for older audiences as well. That is absolutely true. To me, this is telling. Yes, Disney Plus is a streaming service for families, and there's supposed to be content on there for dad to mom to the kids. You know, Mandalorian to Lizzie McGuire's show that's apparently in chaos right now. Don't know what's going on with that. And then there's just the kids shows. But for the most part, Disney's hitting what they want to. They're doing exactly as they planned. And I just want to point that out because I don't know, seeing these like clickbaity YouTubers saying like Disney Plus complete failure, oh my god. It's just why this platform struggles, y'all. We aren't taken seriously because people are just trying to make these headlines that have no reflection on reality, and it really makes me angry. Like, I didn't expect when I started the channel to get into the whole news side of YouTube, and I'm still new to it, but seeing how high a percentage of the people on this platform who cover news will just do whatever it takes to get views is kind of upsetting. Like, it makes it really hard for me to think that fantasy news here could ever be like taken seriously in a way where I could reach out to a publisher and have them be like, oh yeah, we'd love to announce something alongside with your channel. 85% of people who cover news on YouTube don't have good intentions. And I'm not saying I don't make mistakes. I clearly do. I've accidentally bought into clickbaity headlines. I've flubbed some news where I was just talking about it and misspoke in a way where it was no longer accurate, but it's never malicious, and I'm never trying to spin a headline to falsely get people's attention, because I think that's damaging. I think that is actually something that in the long run will hurt the channel. But I see people with millions of subscribers who do it regularly, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that is the way that you can survive, but it's not something I'm going to invest my time into. Anyway, guys, like and subscribe if you have not already. Hit the Patreon if you want to support what I do here. And have a good one, y'all. Peace.